Our public face can be represented on a personal web page, and this can be communicated to an entire world, or at least those online. But unlike a book or a photograph of ourselves, this image can be endlessly revised and reconstructed. Daniel Chandler has researched how adolescents go about constructing their personal homepages.
One of the extraordinary things about this medium, the medium of the personal homepage, the genre of the personal homepage, is that it has this, it both publishes you globally, and is thus a very, very public thing, potentially. And at the same time, of course, as with the word processor, it's highly revisable. And there is a sense, I think, because of the revisability of web pages, that the revisability makes it feel much closer to your sense of who you feel you really are than some other modes of self-presentation.
According to Chandler, most of his subjects have chosen to represent their real selves in the different forums he's researched. But for some people, it's the possibility of expressing an alternative self that holds the greatest promise for the virtual worlds of cyberspace. According to Sadie Plant, there is something liberating about being able to write a virtual self on the net.
Well, I think many people have obviously explored the enormous possibility for presenting another persona on the internet, using their name or another name as a kind of avatar, a sort of front for one or many different personalities. And it seems to me that in many respects this is perhaps allowing the expression of something that was perhaps already latent within many people anyway. Perhaps the idea of the modern individual was very much to be a kind of unified, centralised individual, rather as our technologies were unified and centralised. But I think, as I say, there's always been a latent, perhaps desire, which people have, of course, often expressed just simply by dressing up or by passing as some other personality in real life, which can now really receive a full expression on the internet. And in many respects, I think that may allow a rather more sane society, actually, even though it might look as though it's heading towards a kind of crazy schizophrenia. Clearly, in the spaces opened up by the internet, there are a whole range of new possibilities and new experiences open to people. This idea of being able to present yourself as any kind of personality, as a different gender, for example, a different sexuality, a different age, even a different species, clearly expands people's experiences of what it is to be an individual, what it is to express different sides of their personality. And again, I think it tends to move us away from an older and very much socially constructed and philosophically constructed idea of the individual as this unified, centralised kind of being.
Personal web pages are a public space where we can describe ourselves to the world. One page achieved worldwide fame when in June 2000, a Turkish man's homepage became the most visited site in history. His page has been visited by more than 1 million people. He was the first celebrity of the homepage. Ironically, in the end, his popularity in one new communications medium was used to advertise another.
If you have internet, you may remember me. My name is Mahir. Now I know. Computers make amazing things happen! Now it's time for communicate for everybody. Come everybody, invitate! We can change the world. We can make it happen. I kiss you. I kiss you. Communicate. Coordinate. I kiss you!
We share an increasingly common language on the World Wide Web, English, but we also share the language of the global image. Popular media representations form the contemporary vernacular. We speak the language of TV and advertising, and in turn this language speaks us. Our escapes from the real to the virtual necessarily reflect the influence of other media. Who we are, or who we pretend to be, will always be connected to our culture.